So I'm a pizza delivery girl. I was at work around 9:30 p.m. when this guy calls. Very whispery, breathy voice. I do my usual greeting. Thank you for calling Pizza Hut. This is, how are you doing tonight? After the usual exchange, I find out he's ordering for delivery. He is a new customer, so I had to put in all his information for delivery. Nothing weird. He tells me he has a coupon for pizza and asks me if I can give him a discount. I told him, let me grab my manager and we'll take care of that for you. He asked for me to specifically take care of him. After I came back from dealing with my boss, I told him that we discounted him for his coupon. He thanked me, and here's where everything gets weird. He stopped me mid-sentence and told me that I have a very nice sounding tone of voice, and that he loved hearing me talk, and that I should be a disc jockey. I was a little weirded out, but I tried to stay professional. I told him that was very sweet and I would consider it. He said, I'd listen to your radio station. Thank you for taking my order tonight. I'll stop by the store and see you sometime soon. I wish I could say it was over, but that isn't true. Not 5 minutes later, the man calls back and my co-worker answers the phone. I learned after the fact that he had asked for me by name. I picked up the phone and did my greeting again. And he reminded me I forgot to ask for his apartment number. Nothing weird yet. Again, I thanked him and changed the information. Before I could hang up, this was our conversation. Him, are you doing alright? Creepy laugh. Yes sir, I'm great. Good, I'm going to hang up now. See you soon. My coworker heard the whole story and told my boss to have a male coworker take it. This is the story he came back with after delivering the pizza. Okay, so I got there right, and I knock on the door. He said in a weird, seductive voice, come in. But I was not about to go into this guy's house, so I knocked again. He opened the door with a big smile on his face, but saw it was me, and it just dropped. I greeted him and he said, where's the girl from the phone? I told him that you were here at the store, and he just looked upset. After I took his money and gave him his food, he asked me how you were. I told him you were doing alright, and he just said good, she is a sweet girl. Tell her I'll see her soon. The fact that he asked the driver to come in, and he was expecting me, creeps me out. Maybe he's just lonely and wants someone to talk to, but still, add one more creep to my list. I am a 28-year-old male, but when this happened to me, I was about 23. I worked at a mom and pop's pizza shop in Northern California, in a small farm town, and it has a few suburbs near it. I kinda did everything since I knew the family, and they trusted me running things while they were gone. This night though, I was working deliveries and got one of the weirdest ones of my life. Everything seemed fine when I took the order. The lady ordered anchovies on her pizza, and I always think people who ordered that are weird as shit. She made the point to tell me the pizza had to be hot when it got there or she wouldn't pay for it. So I got the pizza, threw it in the warmer, and drove to her house before any of my other deliveries. I'd like to tell you guys that her house was creepy and run down, but it looked like your average one-story housing development home. So I rang the doorbell and put my fake-ass customer service smile. You know the one I'm talking about. As soon as the door opened, I knew this was going to be bad. The haggard lady, who looks like a smoker of 50 years, looked me dead in the eyes and said, "It better be hot, or I'm not paying, like I told you over the damn phone." I understand, ma'am. I made sure to stop by your place first, even though it was last on my list. Bring it in, and set it on the table. She said this, and now, normally I don't go inside customers' homes because I read too many stories on NoSleep and Let's Not Meet. But at this point, I just wanted to kill her with kindness and see where this would go, so I say, "No problem. I also brought you cheese and ranch if you need it." As soon as I opened the bag, she grabbed the box, and her hand was on the bottom of it, just rubbing it. "It's not hot enough. You fuckers do this every time, and I'm not paying for this shit. Not a single dime." One thing I have an issue with is my mouth. I don't know when to just shut up and try to understand where people are coming from. "Look, lady, your house is a 5-minute drive from our shop, and I stopped by your place first. There's no way this pizza is cold. If you refuse to pay, you will get 86'd, and I'll notate it on your account." She immediately walked into her kitchen and came back out. She had a pizza from prior weeks ago she had ordered from us and threw it at me. "Take your fucking pizza and get out of my house, you devil." She yelled at me and kept calling me Satan and the devil. Again, my mouth has no filter and I can't control it. I try, but I fail every time. As I'm closing the bag and laughing about how much I hate my job, I tell her, "Alright, ma'am, you will not be able to order pizza from us again. I hope you have a great day. God bless you and your house." She kept following me outside screaming, "You're the fucking devil." And there was a family out there just watching this go down. So I got into my car and started driving. Once I get back, I tell my manager what happened, and she told me the lady had already called to scream about what happened. Her story was that I cussed her out and got her order wrong. My manager shut her down and said I'd never done anything like that before. But here's the weirdest part. She whispered into the phone to my manager and repeated, "Send him back, send him back, send him back." She called every day for almost about 3 months, whispering this to whoever answered. She started driving by the restaurant and yelling, "The devil works here. You're all going to hell." Now, I wasn't scared. I was just pissed off and wanted to retaliate, because I can't tell you how many times she tried to follow me back to my apartment when I got off work. One night I just pulled over and got out, just for her to stop her car in the road with her lights on yelling, "The devil is here." After this, I jumped back in my car and sped off. Luckily, after 6 months of dealing with this lady, I find out she's a schizophrenic and bipolar and hasn't been on her meds. Her daughter put her in a care home, but when she was cleaning out her house, she saw that her mom had pictures of me all over her bedroom wall with the word, yep, you guessed it, devil, written all over it. She found me and explained everything. And that's where all of this ends. First, I would like to say that this story is not mine, and it happened to my dad back in 2012. And I can't really ask him about any of the details since he passed away 2 years later, but it was due to something else, so I'm going to try to remember all the details I can. I'm going to tell the story from his point of view. I was a night manager at Pizza Hut, and I usually was the last to leave, so I had to make sure the whole place was locked up, everything was clean and put away. I was making sure everything was cleaned properly when a man about 5'7", white, average build walked in. I told him we were closed and he had to leave. The man ended up saying he wanted the money out of the safe. He also pulled out a pistol to make sure I did what he said. The safe for the Pizza Hut was locked in the back of the store, so the dude walked behind the counter and followed me back there. Now usually when the safe gets open it makes a loud alarm sound, not sure why, but the man didn't know that. So when I went to open the safe, the little alarm sound went off and he thought I alerted the cops. He ended up pistol whipping me and then taking off. I ended up going to the hospital to get checked out and described what the guy looked like to the cops. And to the best of my knowledge, they never caught the guy. This story is going to be a bit long. A couple months ago, I walked up to a Pizza Hut just a few minutes away from my house to grab some cheap food on an uneventful Saturday night. When I got there, I ordered my pizza and sat down to wait for it. As I was flipping through text on my phone, an older woman, probably in her mid to late 50s, walked in and ordered a pizza. After she did, she sat down next to me, smelling of somewhat alcohol, and began to cry looking over at me. Then she began slamming her phone on the table in front of us and started asking me, "Why is my life shit?" over and over. She kept talking to herself, saying, "I can't believe I left my fucking wallet in the pub," in between wails. A few minutes after, a young father and his daughter around 4 years old walked in, and they ordered pizza as well. His daughter was speaking to what I assumed was their native tongue, and she was doing a typical little kid thing, making cutesy noises while doing so. Apparently, this woman couldn't handle it and yelled, "Tell your little kid to shut the fuck up, or I'll make her shut up." He promptly left, and she started saying, "I'm getting pizza for my kids," and "My kids have died," over and over. Two guys come in afterwards, a teenager and a middle-aged dude with a scooter. The teenager went to grab his order, which he told the scooter guy was for his brother's birthday party. The woman continued wailing, and he and I exchanged glances as he looked at her and made a confused expression towards me, and I just shrugged. He then left, and it was just me and her and Scooter Guy. Suddenly, she starts complaining to Scooter Guy, who said, "Would you like to come on a ride with me on my scooter? I can make you forget all your troubles." I had figured the whole ordeal might be over at this point, but nah, she rejected it. Anywho, my pizza was taking 15 minutes longer than usual due to the party teen guy, so I just waited there in awkward silence while she tried to make conversation with me by telling me that she wants to kill herself. When I finally got my pizza, I left and noticed she was following me. So I ran behind a building into a dark alleyway to get her off my trail because, as I said, I only live a couple minutes away. All in all, probably one of the creepiest experiences I've ever had in my life. I just wanted to eat pizza and watch TV. Once upon a time, long, long ago, I worked at a pizzeria, Papa Murphy's to be exact. One night, when I was 16, I was closing with my 15-year-old co-worker, who we will call Lee. About 15 minutes before closing, someone called in an order, and we made the pizza. Then comes closing time, and no one came in to pick it up. So we stored it, and locked the doors, turned off the open sign and lights. 5 minutes after close, a lady comes up to the door and starts pounding on it. We didn't open it because we were closed, and we aren't legally obligated to open the door after we're closed. A few minutes later, my phone rings and I pick it up with a typical, "Hello, Papa Murphy's, we're currently closed." And on the other side, an angry lady yells, "20 minutes ago I called in and I came to get it, but your doors are locked and I can see you right now. I'm never giving my money to this establishment ever again, blah blah blah." And she hung up on me and pulled out of the parking lot. Cool, whatever, bitch. Lee stays in the front to clean and I go in the back to the kitchen. 5 to 10 minutes later, Lee comes around back to the kitchen and says, "The lady is back." I was like, "Bitch, what?" I go into the front and see the lady in the white sedan is most definitely back. I was like, maybe it's someone else who has a similar car. And Lee goes, "No, it's the same one. I memorized the license plate." What the hell is she doing back? But I was tired and I wanted to leave. So I told Lee to continue cleaning and not to worry about it. Fast forward 20 minutes later and the stupid car is still there. What in the world is this bitch doing? Why is she still here? Lee and I were a bit shook, but we called our managers and explained the situation. They said just to make sure all the doors were locked and to leave together. We agreed and finished up cleaning. After a while, my manager decides to pay a visit and check out the store and stuff. By now, it was nearly an hour after closing time, and we were supposed to leave nearly half an hour after close. But we were too scared to because her car was out there. So my manager told us they'll scope out the car, and that there was nobody in there. It was strange as hell. Me and Lee were pretty fucking shook, but we were just like, whatever, let's get the hell out of here. And so we did. When I walked out to my ride, I glanced at the car, and it was true. No one was in there. On the ride home, I'm contemplating the situation because it's just so bizarre. But then I realized that in the little outlet mall where we were located, every store around us had closed hours ago. We were always last to leave. So where the hell did this lady go? There was no other store that she could have gone in. She parked directly in front of the store, in the spot closest to the door, but she wasn't in the car. She left after she got mad, then came back, and now she was gone. Maybe my managers found out, but I bounced because I really was not trying to get shot or assaulted or worse, because a bitch didn't get her pizza. From now on, I'm always wary of salty customers. Let's not meet salty pizza lady.